So we're going to be reviewing slope and y-intercept. We're going to look at situation 1 first. So it says here, Annie recorded the number of stuffed bears sold and the total cost of the bears. So total sold versus the cost. So it says here, use the data in the table to determine the rate of change of the linear equation that models this situation. So we have our table here. The first question is, what is the rate of change? I want you to know and remember that rate of change means slope. If we see a table like this, we can use our calculator to figure out what the slope or rate of change will be for this specific table. So we're going to click on Stat. When we have Edit, we're going to click on Enter. We will enter in our table values just like they give them to us. So 2, enter, 3, 4, 5, and 6. On the other column, we're going to enter in all our y values. So we're going to put 14.50, 21.75, 29, 36.25, and 43.5. Okay, so we're going to click on Stat one more time. Click over to the right using this arrow to calculate. Go down to number 4. Click Enter. Now we have this. So A represents the slope, B represents the y-intercept. Remember, the slope is the same thing as the rate of change. So here our slope would be 7.25. If this data, so we're going to proceed on to the next question. If this data were graphed, what would the slope represent? So the slope would represent the cost per bear. So that would be $7.25 per bear. So what is the y? The total cost of bears in terms of the x, the number of bears sold. So it's going to be y equals 7.25x. Remember, the number next to the x stands for the slope. So that's what we're showing right there. Okay, moving on to situation 2. It says here, the student council is setting up a lunch for teacher staff development day. Their initial cost is $50. So when we are paying something, that means we're spending. That means it's a negative impact. We're not gaining any money from that. They will charge $7.50 per plate. So that means that this is our slope because it's per, and they are gaining that money. So this is a gain, meaning it's a positive thing that's happening. So if we are initially paying $50, that means that we're spending it. That means it's at a negative. So it says here, use the information above to sketch a graph of the linear equation that models this situation. So we have lunch profit. This is the profit, number of plates sold. So we have to start at a negative 50 because we are spending that money. We don't have this money. Now, they will charge $7.50 per plate. Now notice here the increase on my x-axis is increasing by 2. So in order to see how much it's increasing every 2 plates, let's figure out how much it is for 2 plates. So 750 times 2. So let's clear this out and type in 750 times 2. So that means we're increasing a total of $15 every time that we sell 2 plates. So $15 is our increase. So here we go. If we're at 50, when we sell 2 plates, we're increasing 15. So this is 10, it's 15. Notice how I am still at a negative, because that means that I have to sell a lot more plates to start gaining money from that. So here we go. From this point, we're going to move up 15. So this is 5. This is 10 here. 15 total. So 5 and then 10 added together is 15. So when we sell 6 plates, we're going to say, here we go. We're going to go up 10 and over 50. So we're at 6 plates, so up 10 and then 5, 15. And again, another up. So notice how I am increasing this every time by 15 because my increase in my scale in my x-axis is increasing by 2. So I cannot increase it by 1 given that my x is increasing by 2 at this moment in this graph. So then I have to go up 10, 15, so here we go. 12. So 5, 10 here, 15. And for 14, we can't fit that in there. But we have our line there. So we can connect it using a ruler. And there we go. So the profit increases with each plate sold. So the profit increases blank. So $7.25 with, or I'm sorry, $7.50 with each plate sold. The each plate means 1. We were increasing this by 15 because again, my X values here were increasing by 2 and I wanted to show that on my graph. But every plate is $7.50. This is the slope of the line representing the lunch money or the lunch profit. So notice we start gaining money once we sell at 8 plates because that's at a positive $10. And then when we sell 10 plates, we're at a positive $25. When we sell 12 plates, we're now at $40. So this is where we start gaining money. So the y-intercept of the graph is negative 50. What does this represent? This represents that if they do not sell any plates they will have a loss of $50. So this would be at a negative 50. Instead of making any money, they would basically be losing money. What is Y? The total profit when X lunches are sold. So here is what represents the slope. So $7.50 per plate. So $7.50 per plate minus the $50 because again, this is our y-intercept. This is where we begin. This is our initial thing. And our initial point is at a negative 50 because we have to spend that money first.